Okay, this is Google Maps and this is the SFA Observatory. And what I'm going to try to do is create a three-dimensional rendering of this from this flat image. I'm going to press Alt Print Screen on my keyboard to capture just this image of the window. And then I'm going to load up a free program, in this case Earfin View, but you could use Paint or Paint.net. I'm going to paste this in with Control V and zoom it down so you can see everything. I don't need all of this image, just maybe from right here, and I want to make sure that I include the scale over here on the lower left hand side so that I can scale this properly in SketchUp when I try to render these buildings in 3D. I'm going to say edit and then crop, save this to my desktop. I already have a file there with the proper name, Observatory from Space. I'm just going to overwrite that. Then what you can do is load up SketchUp. It looks like this right here. Make sure the units are in feet, so you can go to Window, Model Info, Units. Already have it in feet, showing one decimal place right there. Then what I can do is do File, Import, and import that JPEG image from my desktop. Make sure it says Use as Image, and it gives you the opportunity to place it somewhere here in space. I'm going to place it right at the origin, and you can size it however you like to. It doesn't really matter because we're going to scale this properly. So this person right here is obviously not to scale with this image. What you can do is kind of orbit around like this and get closer in on this scale right down here so you can rescale the image. I'm going to use the tape measure right here, try to get as close to that as I can, and then all the way over here. And then you'll notice down here it says that's 2 feet, but really I think I needed to start over here and go to that point right there. I think at that point that's where I'm going to type in 50 feet. So 50 with a single quote, and that wasn't it. I needed to click here and click at the end. That's right. And then hit 50 feet. It's going to ask me if I want to rescale the image, and then I'm going to say yes, and it magnified it like that. So when I zoom back a little bit, you can see the person standing out there in the field. I could move them over, clicking on that person, and then move them into the observatory area like that, and move around, zoom in, orbit around. All right, the next thing I want to do is try to construct the buildings from this two-dimensional image. Okay, now what I could also do is change the style of the background. So if I open up the styles window here, and go down here to default styles and maybe select this earth modeling. You see that what that gives you is kind of a green texture on the surface, and then if you orbit up you can see the blue sky like that. This is the gravel pad with a dozen mounts for small telescopes. I'm just going to put the rectangle down here for this gravel pad, and then zoom over here to the medium-sized dome that we have here. Okay, I'm going to select the circle tool here, and I'm going to try to put this circle at the base of the building. So try to get as close as I can to what I imagine to be the center of the concrete. I know this is about a 12-foot diameter, so I'm going to put 6 foot for the radius. You'll see that down in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. And then what I'm going to do is select the Move tool, and what we can do on this one is we want to make a duplicate of that circle and raise it up above here. So I'm going to hit the Control button on my keyboard. I'm going to select this and pull up. That didn't work, so let me try again. Maybe select it. Move key here, Control, click, and move up. You see it's going in the green direction, which is not straight up. Here's one in the red direction. I really want it to move up and down. I'm going to let go of the Control key, which made a copy of that, and I'm going to press the up arrow one time on my keyboard so that now it's in the blue direction, which is vertical. And you can see the number values in the lower right hand side. I'm going to bring this up, I guess 10 feet above the ground. Okay, now I could take this circle right here and try to rotate it about the vertical axis and try to spin it and turn it into a sphere. But I think I found a better way to make the dome on top of this building here. So I'm going to go over here and delete that part right there. Delete that circle, or just hit Control Z to undo. And then I'm going to draw a vertical line. I'm going to need to find the center of this circle right here. Sometimes you have to kind of go around the edge until you get over here and it tells you where the circle is. And then you can see the different directions here. When the line turns blue, that means you're going in the vertical direction. I want to go up 10 feet because I know that's the height of my wall, so I'm typing in 10 in a single quote for 10 feet like that. And then what you can do is draw a vertical circle. And the best way I found to do that is if you go to camera and you go to standard views and you go to left or right, something like this, and then you take the circle tool, you'll notice that you can start here and actually go out and make the same size circle you had for the base, which I believe was 6 feet. So let me type that in, 6 feet. All right, now I need to turn that circle into a sphere. I can kind of look at it to make sure it looks right. The way I can turn that into a sphere is, first of all, I select the bottom circle down here, this one right here, just highlight the outer edge, and then use the Follow Me tool right here, and then click on this surface right here, and it will follow that circle and map it out through space, making a sphere. Okay, there we go. And then I can take the Push-Pull tool, pull the wall up until I have a dome there. I'm going to try to do the same thing over here on this other one. See if the same procedure will work for the other dome here. Again, this is kind of a perspective. The satellite wasn't looking directly down. See if I can remember exactly kind of how big the dome was. I'm going to say it was a 25-foot dome. I'm going to try 12.5 and see if that looks about right. Maybe a bit much. Someone changed that to, I don't know, just see what we got here when we measure it. This is about 13. You know what? I'm just going to type in 12 feet because that looks about right when I do that. All right. Then the next thing I wanted to do is to kind of build a wall. And remember that the way I did that before was I used a line tool to try to find the center of that thing. There we go. Go straight up and down. I believe this wall height was at least 14 feet or about that. And let's see, for some reason that didn't work when I typed in 14. Let's try it again. Maybe that's what happened there. We hit escape to get rid of making extra lines with that tool. Then again, I'm going to go to my camera view and go to right so that I'm kind of able to make vertical circles that way. Go in here and again making a circle which had the same radius as the base did. That was 12 feet. Then again, to make the dome, what I need to do is first of all select the bottom path to follow, and then I want to rotate this around that path using the Follow Me tool, and I have a sphere there. I'm going to use the Push-Pull tool to kind of pull that up right about there, and that looks pretty good for that dome. Okay, I have one more dome located over here, and that is a 10-foot dome. So let's give this a shot, trying to locate about where the base is. And let's put a 5-foot radius in there. And maybe orbit just a little bit so that I can get a good look at where that line needs to be. Finding the circle, center right there. Make sure the line is blue, and I believe the wall height was probably no more than 6 feet high in this particular dome. Alright, hit the escape key to stop drawing lines, and then zoom in a little bit, changing the camera view to left or right so that I can draw vertical circles. You don't want to hit the orbit tool after doing that view because it won't allow you to draw vertical circles after that, but you can kind of zoom in and out, but not orbit, and then draw the circle right here, coming down there, 5 feet. Now I can begin to orbit around and get a little bit closer to this as well. Selecting the path of rotation, which is the bottom ring right there, and then say, have this follow that path around in a circle. And then lastly, do push-pull to pull the wall up, like so. And I have my third dome. Okay, now I'm going to add the rectangular building. This happens to be a roll-off roof the roof right here rolls off onto this lattice right here on wheels, but I'm just going to draw the rectangular building only in this particular video. That's about the right size right there. And push-pull up. I wonder if that's about, it's probably 8 feet tall. And then what I can do is draw the line, grab the line tool, find the midpoint, which is the blue right there, go all the way over to the midpoint over here. And then I can grab the move tool, select that edge, and make sure that I go straight up and down following the blue line right here, not this direction, but straight up. And that's the approximate pitch of the roof. Let's do one more. This is the classroom over here. Trying to get down there where the concrete is as best as I can. Kind of difficult to figure that one out. I think it's more like down over here somewhere. There we go. Something like that. And then let's pull that up. Maybe, this is a fairly high building, maybe 12 feet. I think it's a bit further than that. So we'll make it 14. Find the midpoint. Midpoint. Orbit. Zoom. Move. And make sure I go vertical. Approximate should be good. Okay, I've kind of painted a couple of the buildings here. I've put down some gravel and some telescope mounts out here, a couple of people here. And basically what I'm doing in that case is I'm using the components from the Windows menu. For example, I can put a car out here, and see, it's probably going the wrong way, so it shouldn't be out there. So let's move this over here, like so. And you can also rotate these around. So if you look from the top point of view, and then you use the rotate tool right there, you can just turn that car around like so, get it facing the right direction, and then come back to the orbit. See, I've also added some fog in there as well, so it's kind of hazy when you get far away. And let's put a couple of trees. I know there's trees just outside of this fence line over here. Probably too tall for our area. So what we can do in that case is, let's see, zoom back, pan over, and then resize. Okay, and lastly, what I've done here is I've made 13 different scenes here, just basically by using the orbit, pan, and zoom to find different locations around the site. I'm just kind of zooming around the site. And then you can go and the way you add scenes is you go to View, Animation, Add Scenes. And then I removed all the delays like this so that when it plays, it just goes like so. And the last part here will be where it zooms in, and you'll see that if I go back to that spot here, I think you can just click on the scene, scene 12, maybe scene 13. Right there, that's where we took one of these photographs. Well, not that one. Let's see, where'd it go? Oh, there it is right there.